Hey friend, welcome back to the Holy and Hungry segment of the Vision Driven Health podcast. This midweek episode is a short health devotional for you where you can bring your hunger to the table and be filled with what God has for your health. Do you end up getting overwhelmed with the hiccups and challenges of life? Do you feel like you can't start any new healthy habits or programs unless you know you don't have a lot going on? Have most of your attempts to lose weight been foiled by things not going according to plan? Today I'm sharing a bit about my last couple of weeks, which have been quite interesting, while also giving some encouragement and tips for how to go through challenges and still stay consistent in your weight loss journey. Do you find yourself struggling to consistently implement healthy habits? Do you lack energy, confidence, and motivation because of stress, overwhelm, and shame for having not gotten it together by now? Friend, there is hope and grace for your health. Hey, I'm Robin Ryan McDonald, host of the Vision Driven Health podcast. I'm a follower of Jesus, a wife, a mama of two, and a seminarian turned health coach. And I'm so excited that you're here. I found myself in my early 20s captive to cravings and convenience. 20 pounds heavier, super tired, with a face full of acne. I could not figure out how to maintain healthy habits until I discovered the power of aligning my choices with God's vision. 10 years and 2 kids later, by the grace of God, I'm still prioritizing my health and feeling amazing. If you are over quick fixes and are ready to feel good in your own skin, then grab a giant water bottle and let's dive on in. In case you haven't heard, I am giving away a free spot in the Healthy Weight Loss Academy. I'm going to tell you how to qualify here in just a moment, but if you didn't know, the Healthy Weight Loss Academy is a 6-week course where I walk you through how to address what's kept you from creating healthy and lasting weight loss in the past. You learn how to eat for your body and your goals, and most importantly, you learn systems and habits that create a lifestyle that lasts in partnership with the one who created you. If you want more insight into it, you can check out my interviews from 2 former students in episode 71. Otherwise, to qualify for this free seat in the program, all you need to do is email me evidence of leaving me a review, of posting your favorite episode on your social media, and your confirmation email for joining my email list. Which that's it. Only those three things. Easy as 1, 2, 3. And you have until August 31st, which is just about 11 days from when this will be aired. And so something I'm adding to increase your entries is if you end up referring a friend to the raffle. If a friend of yours ends up doing the raffle too, and they go through those 3 steps as well, you get an additional entry for that raffle. So for example, you do the 3 steps, you get an entry. You refer 5 friends who also do the raffle, that's an additional 5 entries for you on top of your original. And you can also just snag your spot for the course at visiondrivenhealth.com/course. And if you get your ticket and end up winning the raffle, I'll refund you the full cost. So hopefully that all makes sense. The details are spelled out in the show notes. But otherwise, let's get into today's episode. So, like I said, this week has been a bit challenging for me. If you're someone who lives in a more rural area, you might understand some of these challenges. But as of the release of this episode, I will have been without propane for our home for 12 days. And it may be another couple of weeks because there was a leak found in our gas line and we're moving a whole bunch of stuff and where the propane tank is. And we got to get somebody to redo the concrete and all this stuff. So that means without propane, we don't have use of our stove or oven. We don't have hot water. And because we don't have hot water, I don't have use of our dishwasher or my laundry machines. All of that is dependent on the propane. And as someone who cooks 95% of what we eat, it has been quite the challenge to cook healthy meals without the use of my beloved stove and oven. And my poor precious little guys, they scream when I give them their cold showers. I personally don't mind because it's been super hot and actually kind of feels nice, but I also have to strategically plan my laundry loads. Thankfully, my mom's been letting me do it at her house, but she's still about 20 minutes away, so that takes some coordinating. Not an ideal scenario, particularly for maintaining healthy habits. Then the weekend ended with losing one of our chickens, and now we have to treat the whole flock for parasites and monitor them each day, which is just like, another low-level stress. And I'm new to the whole chicken thing. I even took like chicken courses on how to feed them healthy and keep them healthy, and I just thought, yeah, like they're going to have the healthiest chickens ever. And with this happening, I'm just like so bummed about it. And then there's just been a few other little fires here and there that my husband and I are just like, what in the world? Now, I share all of this not to dump on you, but rather to provide you with some tools on how to stick with your weight loss plan, even when everything seems to be going awry. Now, I think most people would agree that I have every reason to throw in the towel on healthy eating without having a stove or an oven. It's just like, yeah, Robin, do what you got to do. Like, don't stress about it. Just order some takeout. And I mean, honestly, I could use any and all of the challenges we're facing as an excuse to stop cooking altogether, to get down, and honestly be distracted from what God's calling me to do. Let's be real. I have had my moments this week. Don't be thinking I strolled through all that I just explained without stress and some good old-fashioned freakouts. But I do also know the reality of my life is all about what my perspective is of it. Because we all have a choice to learn from everything that is happening in our life and press into God, or we can choose to declare defeat and focus only on our own abilities. Now, the difference is partnering with God, having a clear vision, and having the practice for consistency under my belt when it comes to healthy habits. And friend, one of the biggest things is to take your thoughts captive. Don't let them roam free if they aren't aligned with God's truth and what He's doing in your life. I'll give you some examples of thoughts that I had to battle this week. Thought was, this is just too hard. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm just going to order takeout the rest of the week. And something we're working with my oldest right now, he will often, get frustrated with things like, I can't do this. I can't. I'll never be able to do this. And every time, we encourage him, we're just like, please don't say that you can't. You can say this is challenging or that you want help, but don't say that you can't, because you probably can with enough practice, or if you keep learning, or if someone helps you. And that's the truth, because it might be too much on our own, but with God's grace, we can get a different perspective. And oftentimes with a different perspective, we can figure out how to do it and take hold of God's grace to just adjust from whatever approach we're taking. Another thought that I had this week was just kind of the culmination of when you have a lot going on, all the little thoughts popping up at once. So I was just like, oh my gosh, how long will we be out of gas? What does this mean for, being able to cook for this, or be able to get laundry done? And oh my gosh, I'm going to be drowning in laundry. I'm not going to be able to keep up. Wait, are the chickens okay? What if we lose the whole flock? Oh my gosh, we spent so much money trying to build the coop and do the chicken thing. You know what? I need dessert. I deserve some relief. That's all. I'm going for it tonight. Right? These are all legitimate thoughts that I have battled. And the truth is, God's grace is sufficient. There are ways to make it work. Worry does not make anything better or create a better outcome. In fact, it makes the whole experience way worse. And truly, I found myself having to grab thoughts like that and sit with them and honestly become aware that they weren't serving me and that I needed to give them to Jesus and get His perspective. And then it was really cool because when I did that, I found myself feeling grateful for the many things that are going well. It's like, man, I'm grateful that we're feeling healthy. We're feeling strong. I'm grateful that we have chickens to take care of. I'm grateful that we have a home that, I can cook in, and that this gas problem's happening now instead of in the winter where our heat is on gas. And so it gets pretty chilly in the winter. And so that would be really tough to not be able to heat our home. And so, there's so many things that you can find gratitude in even when things are really rough. And honestly, things could be worse. I would rather deal with no propane and sick chickens which are going to be healed in Jesus' name, then so many other terrible things. We can use hard times as an opportunity to lean into God and grow in our faith. We can use hard times to become more intentional and resilient. Overwhelming and challenging times can become the very fuel you need to be consistent with your weight loss journey. Because the truth is, most people trying to lose weight would be where they want to be, lose the weight they want to lose, if they just found ways to adapt and pivot. But we get stuck in that all or nothing mentality. Either you're 100% in or you're 100% out. Something comes up and derails the plans and intentions you had, and then you're immediately thrown off track. And then it just spirals from there. But you've got to get to a place where an indulgent meal, a change in plans, a life crisis doesn't keep you from staying intentional with your health. You want to stick with the whole foods. Keep finding ways to cook at home. Get outside for a walk. Do some kind of resistance training. Drink enough water. Get enough sleep. Those are the basics we want to double down on when things are hard. When your body's stressed, you need all of that to keep you going. And when we let all of that just go out the window, it makes whatever challenges we're facing that much harder. And again, the way we do this is by taking our thoughts captive and submitting them to the feet of Jesus. And this is a major focus in the first part of the Healthy Weight Loss Academy. If you haven't signed up yet, I do highly encourage you to do so. You can go to visiondrivenhealth.com/course because we spend a lot of time looking at what is your vision? What is God calling you to? What are those lies that are coming up for you and are preventing you from living out the calling that God has on your life? And when we address those things, you're set up to create a lasting lifestyle. And so, friend, I want to leave you today with just this truth and this concept that you can take your thoughts captive in order to actually create a healthy weight loss journey. You can make challenges, you can make hardships the thing that keeps you going, and just like, okay, and I'll think this way too, even with all this going on. And I guess, I forgot to say, on top of everything going on, the boys got sick and I was feeling under the weather, and it was just, it was so much. But I thought, okay, I'm feeling under the weather. I'm feeling stressed. There's a lot going on. I definitely want to make sure that I'm still trying to find ways to cook at home. So I figured out crock pot meals and instant pot meals and doing lots of things on the grill and just making sure that I'm still getting enough protein. I'm getting my vegetables in. I'm trying to eat the whole foods. And honestly, I ended up recovering from the sickness pretty quickly. And I feel like I've had the energy to have to deal with all of this because I pressed into the habits I knew supported my body when things are hard. So this is a perspective shift for you. When you're trying to implement healthy habits, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to stay consistent, and hard things come up, make that the reason why you stick with it and don't give up. Make that the reason why you get to keep going. And see if you don't find it easier to stay the path and be consistent. So friend, I hope you have an amazing, blessed day and that you take hold of God's perspective and all of His grace to reach your weight loss goals. Thank you so much for listening to the Vision Driven Health podcast today. I hope this episode inspired you, supported you, and blessed you in some way. If it did, it would mean the world if you would leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcast and share this episode on your social media. The more reviews and shares this gets, the more people can be blessed and encouraged in creating a Jesus-centered, sustainable, healthy lifestyle. If you want to hang with me and other Jesus-loving ladies who are creating healthy habits that last, be sure to join my free Facebook group, the Made Well Mastermind. Use the link in the show notes to join. Be blessed with hope, joy, and health. I'll see you next week.